Hello world! It's good to be with you again. Welcome to a special edition of On the Air. For Area 58, CAM. CAM is an acronym for Community Access Media. Remember now, we're on the net, we're on YouTube, we're on a lot of places, we're doing a lot of work. And happy to do it, as long as you're watching. Today, I am in Brockton. I'm at the VA in Brockton. This is the Brockton campus. The place is enormous. The place is enormous. I have been working with the permission of the Board of Directors of Area 58 on trying to interview patients here at the Brockton VA. Tell you the reason for that. I had a friend that was here at the Community Living Center, which is a place where guys can go if they've got a little dementia maybe, or a little Alzheimer's, or other problems. They're homeless maybe, they have no family. They can stay here for a while. They go through a rehab. And then they're released to go home, or maybe to a rest home, or wherever. It depends on their condition. I saw a friend here. He was 93 years old. He was in the Battle of the Bulge. He was a feisty old guy. I loved him dearly. He wouldn't wear or buy anything that wasn't made in America. He really meant that. But he got to a point where he had to come here. He was terminal. He knew it. His family knew it. And when I came to visit him, the care he was getting from the nurses was like he was a member of their family. How else can I put it? It was so giving, so compassionate. I was very impressed. I was also impressed with the area that they live in. Clean as a whistle. The floor you could see your face in. It was just, I was just so impressed. I ran back and told my board of directors at Area 58 what I'd say. And can't we do something for these vets? And they said, unanimously, do what you need to do. Because we're really not supposed to leave town. And here I am in Brockton. So that's the story behind that. That's why we're here. And I've just gotten permission to do the show I was telling you about. We'll probably start in June, but I've got to talk to Rich Goulet and Will McKenna and the board of directors. But look for it. I'm promising you, you're going to love what these guys have to say. It's not going to be a sad show. It's not going to be a show about the termination of life. It's going to be about their experiences in whatever war they were in, whatever battle they were in. It's going to be funny. It's going to be unique. It's going to be something you should see if you think anything of our veterans, our warriors who defended our country. And this has nothing to do with Memorial Day or Armistice Day or any of that. This is just something I want to do. At my age, I want to give a voice to the veteran. I also want to give a voice to the Gold Star and Blue Star families. They deserve to be heard. They've got a story to tell. After all, they sent their boys and girls into harm's way so that they could defend the very freedoms we think so highly of. So that's a lot to say in an opening segment, but I wanted to tell you that. Okay, let's go talk to some people and listen to some people, and I'll be right back. As I told you, I'm going to have some very interesting people on today. And if I seem a little out of sorts or a little hyper, it's because I am. I am so excited to be here. We'll talk more about that later. You notice the charming young lady standing beside me. Her name is?
Carmen Concepcion. I'm the Associate Chief Nurse here in the Community Living Center.
Wow, you're so young to have a title like that.
Thank you.
How long have you been the Chief Associate Nurse?
I've been in this position for 3 years. I've been in VA Boston for 19 years.
Really?
Yes.
My goodness gracious. I understand you're going to take us on a little tour of this beautiful park.
Yes, I will.
All right. Shall we go?
Absolutely.
After you.
So we have 2 entryways, and this is one of them, and it's basically for all the veterans that can have access to the Wandering Park. But we have another entrance from one of the units, and they can directly come into the park and with escort, and either come over here to. We have a built-in checkered set.
So is this park only for people in Building 4?
At this time, yes.
But Building 4, for your information, I think I've explained it before, but I'm going to explain it a couple of times. It's what they call CLC.
Yes, Community Living Center.
Community Living Center, and it's for?
We provide care for veterans who need skilled nursing, rehab, transitional care, get them ready before they go home. We have a long-term care. Actually, I take that back.
Okay.
We have a dementia unit, which takes care of veterans with cognitive impaired, and who also, to give the family members a respite, we also take the veterans here for a short period of time so that the families can go and either have vacations or just need time to recuperate from any kind of procedures.
Did you hear that? Yeah, isn't that wonderful? You hear so much about the VA around the country. I don't know what they're doing, but I've been coming here for years. They treat me like a king. And now look what they do for the veterans and their families. I didn't even know that. Thanks for that piece of information.
Yeah.
Let's continue walking on this beautiful day.
So here we have these tables with the chess games.
They could play checkers or chess. Or...
And we have a very robust recreation department, and they do provide activities for the veterans here while they're staying here. And it actually helps with the healing, and social interaction and engaging and back into the community.
Wow, that's just great. That's just super. The way you take care of us, my mother didn't take care of me that way.
Well, I can't speak. I can't speak to that, but I think that VA Boston has done a lot of work with our aging population, with the aging veterans.
No question.
And we try to get them into a position where they can function independently and be able to go home safely.
So they're not here as a last stop.
Oh no, they don't live here. They stay here for a short period of time so that we can rehabilitate them and actually hopefully send them to either home or to a nursing home or with family members. So this is more to increase their endurance.
Oh, that's so great. You know, the reason I'm here, let's continue walking. The reason I'm here is because I visited a friend of mine who was in the Battle of the Bulge, World War II, and when I saw the care he was getting, and the nurses, how they were taking care of him like he was one of their family, I went back to my board of directors at Area 58 and said, we have got to do a show there because the place is immaculate. You could eat off the floor. The nurses are so. My friend happened to have they were washing him. Mm-hmm. It was early in the morning, and they asked me if I would wait 5 minutes, which I did. And 5 minutes were up. I could go in and see him, and I said, "Bob, how you doing?" He said, "What's going on here? They're treating me like I'm a king. I haven't got any money." I said, "This is where you get treated." All right. How old is this park now?
This park is we just opened it today, and the project took about a year
Did.
because the weather had some impact.
Yeah,
on
the
it.
weather was so lousy.
So
Yeah.
there was a delay in starting it, but once the groundbreaking was done, it pretty much went full speed ahead.
I want to tell you, I think it's gorgeous. I think it's just gorgeous. Now, can they come out here from that building by themselves, or do they have to have an escort?
Actually, if they're cognitively impaired, they would need an escort.
They would.
Yes,
Okay.
because we also have to think of their safety.
But if they're just in for some other reason, they could come up by
Yeah,
themselves?
Absolutely.
Wow, that's just great.
Absolutely.
That's just great.
You know, hopefully now that the weather's getting nice, we'll have more activities out here for them.
Oh, yeah.
And,
yeah, the weather is getting beautiful.
yeah.
Is there anything that the people that are viewing us now, is there anything they can do to help? I know that you don't take contributions or that kind of thing, but is there anything, do you need volunteers maybe?
We'll always welcome volunteers because there are, like I said, we have a really robust recreation therapy,
Yeah.
and they're always looking for volunteers, and it helps us care for more veterans when we have the
We
volunteers.
certainly want that.
Yeah.
You know, you people listening now, I'm not going to reprimand you, but I hear a lot of people saying, I'd like to do something for the veterans. Here's your opportunity. This is the Brockton campus. It's beautiful, it's huge, and as she just said, I always need volunteers.
They're
so
always welcome.
where would they go, to Building 3?
They would actually go to Building 7.
Building 7,
Yes.
and tell them what they want to do.
Yes.
Yeah. You hear that? Building 7 here at the Brockton campus. It's right off of Belmont Street in Brockton. If you're coming in from the south, it's exit 17A, and you come right to the front entrance. Go to Building 7. Tell them you'd like to be a volunteer. I'd love you for it, and I know the VA would. So keep that in mind. You want to do something, you're sitting home reading a book, and you want to do something else, help the VA. They need your help, right?
Yes, we always welcome volunteers. We welcome anyone who's willing to help us care for the veterans.
All right.
So
Is there anything else you want to show us here in the park?
we have a really nice water feature that's
All right, let's go.
well-known
Let's take a
to-
walk over there.
And so we strategically place those benches in front of the water feature so they can just relax and
Okay.
enjoy the scenery and just reflect.
The water feature. Are you talking about a fountain or?
A fountain.
Look at that! That's just gorgeous.
So we strategically place these chairs there so that veterans can sit here and either sit here with their families or with staff.
Yeah, and contemplate their. Yeah. I
And
think
just
that's-
enjoy it.
I think that's so great. Thank you so much for what you do.
Oh,
And
you're
thanks for that little tour. Tell the people your name once again.
Carmen Concepcion.
Carmen Concepcion.
And if you would like to volunteer, you can contact Richard Lehman here in VA Boston Healthcare System.
How do you spell that? Lehman?
Leeman.
Leeman. Richard Lehman.
Yes,
And you've been Building 7?
in Building 7.
All right. Carmen,
you.
I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough for what you do. I can't thank you enough for the beautiful, articulate tour you took me on. And I just want to wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And I hope we'll be seeing each other in the very near future.
Oh,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have a good, she's on her way to Texas, by the way. Have a good trip to Texas.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. All right, Carmen Concepcion, a very young, very personable, and very professional chief nurse.
Yes.
See, your veterans are in good hands. Okay, I'm standing here with, as you can tell, a good-looking gentleman, and I have to tell you that interviewing this particular profession intimidates me just a little bit because of the awesome responsibility they have. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. Would you tell the people your name?
Yes, Stephen Simon. I'm Chief of Geriatrics and Extended Care for VA Boston, and I'm effectively the medical director for our facility.
Hey, how about that? Now, this a very young guy, and he does all the. Now, are you a veteran?
No, sir, I'm not a veteran.
Okay. How do you feel about veterans? Is that a stupid question?
No, it's a great question. I'm glad you asked. So I never served myself. My late father was a veteran of World War II. He served 1943 to 45 in the Pacific in the Army. And although he wasn't career military, and after he got out of the military, he never looked back to it, except for telling stories about it.
Yeah.
And for all of my childhood, the most poignant stories I recall are those about service, and those about his time of bonding with his fellow soldiers, about the challenges, about even as a quartermaster in the Quartermaster Corps with supplies, the honor he felt. And I've been honored through my life as a physician to serve in VAs all around the country. I served in medical school. I trained in West Haven. I served in Fort Miley in San Francisco when I was a resident. I spent a year in Hawaii in the Honolulu VA.
Oh, wow.
And then I've been here in Boston. And what I've found throughout is the stories veterans tell you of their lives. They are so inspiring. And although I haven't had a chance to serve myself, I feel there's a small part of me that gets a chance to give back by caring for them.
Well, you say you haven't served, but I have to disagree with you.
Thank you.
You have served and served well. I'm a Korean War veteran.
Yes, sir.
Or Korean insurrection veteran, whichever word you choose. And I come here to this VA, and I hear a lot about VAs around the country, and I don't know what they're talking about because I get treated like a king here.
Well, Mr. Simmons, I'll tell you that VA across the country is one of our national treasures. There are challenges in any large healthcare system, and VA is facing them. They're publicly visible. I'm proud to say VA Boston, the Brockton, West Roxbury, Jamaica Plains centers, and our community outreach centers are among the best in the country, and I'm glad you've experienced some of those.
Oh.
But even across the country, VA is a national treasure, and we're honored that the department is working to strengthen it, to fix the problems, and to bring us into a new generation, new millennium of care. So for sure, you hear a lot of negative press, and a lot of it is unfounded, and a lot of it is motivating and encouraging us to do better.
Can I tell you a very quick story?
I love a story.
I think I tell this to people and their eyes glaze over, but I don't think yours will. Gotta be 10 years ago now, maybe a little longer. My sister-in-law was dying in Florida. It was Christmas time. We couldn't get a flight. My mother-in-law wanted to get there. My wife was her sister. We couldn't get a flight, so we rented a car. And hopefully we would drive fast enough to get there before she passed. About 100 miles away from where she was, I was driving on a highway about 65 miles an hour, and all of a sudden I couldn't see. I mean, I went blind. And I said to my wife who was sitting beside me, don't upset the people, guide me to the side of the road, quick, now, quick. And she did, thank God. And we got out, and everybody said, what's wrong? I said, I can't see. Anyway, make a long story short, we visited, we didn't make it, she passed before we got there, and I got home and I wanted to go right to a doctor. Best I could do was a 2-week appointment. That wasn't good enough, because it was Christmas time. They were on vacation, and rightly so. So somebody said, call the VA. I called the VA, they said, come right up. I came right up, they said, wow, I was at 700. They said, you got diabetes. And from that point on, I have never gone anyplace else.
We hear these stories, and the stories are what bring out hopefully the underlying experience and truth. And I'm glad you're okay, and thankfully you look terrific.
I mean, I'm 86 years old.
I can't believe you look
incredible.
I should look so good when I'm 56 than when I'm 86. And I'm glad that we're taking part in that. Clearly, you are doing all things that must care. You must watch your diet. You must be physically active.
You wouldn't believe how stupid I am about it. I watch my diet. I watch my needles. I'm incredible. Because I like to feel good.
Yes. And I think it's those things we encourage our veterans to do. I mean, we can only do so much with medicines and operations and procedures, but hopefully one of the things we're doing is what you've taken on yourself is to help our veterans to be active, to watch diet, to follow healthy habits. And one of those things actually to make a segue is what we're doing here in the Wandering Park.
Absolutely, absolutely. You heard what he said. If you're a veteran and you're out there and you want to live a good, healthy life, do what he just said. It makes sense. You know, when I come through the doors here, it's like being back in the service.
Yes, sir.
That's part of the charm. You get that camaraderie.
Uh-huh.
You know, guys are talking to you, they don't even know you, but that's okay.
Right.
And they say obscene things, which I won't do on the air, and that's okay too. But I just gotta say that this VA in Brockton, and I've been to West Roxbury,
Yes.
and I've been to Jamaica Plain for a specialist on endocrinologist
Yes.
for my, and that's the way they take care of me. They schedule these things. You gotta do this, you gotta do that. I just think it's fantastic. So I just want to say this CLC. Did I tell you I had a friend in there? That's
No,
why
no.
That's why I'm here today. He was 93. He was in the Battle of the Bulge. He was terminal, and the people here were taking care of him like he was a member of their family.
Yes.
And the floors you could eat off. I could see my face in the floor.
Yes, sir.
And I was so impressed. I said to the board of directors of Area 58, I know we don't leave town because we're a community. We've got to give these veterans a voice.
Yes.
They're laying up there. If they don't want to go on camera, that's fine. But let's give them a voice. And you know what? I got a call from a friend of Palace's, apparently, because she mentioned her name.
Yes.
Why don't you do something
Yeah.
for us Gold Star mothers?
Oh, how about that?
And I said, why don't I do it? Because I'm old and I'm stupid and I never thought of it. That's why I don't. But so I made arrangements with her
Great.
to combine the two somehow and give these people a voice.
They deserve it. We honor our veterans as we would any patients with the highest level of care, but they deserve even more. They deserve to be felt like family. So I'm
glad
I'm
to
honored
hear.
that we have a chance to try to do that.
That's an MD saying that. What a nice thing to say. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Doctor.
Mr. Simmons. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for talking to
It's
me.
an honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Dr. Simon, right?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Simon, certainly a credit to any community, and certainly a credit to this VA that we're talking about, and a credit to any VA anywhere he chose to go in the country. All right, we're going to come right back. Don't you dare go away.
All right, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to our ribbon cutting ceremony for the Wandering Park here at the VA Boston Healthcare System Brockton campus, Building 4, which is our community living center. This park been in design and built for the last couple of 3 years, and we finally found such a nice day to have it dedicated. Just perfect weather for it. This is called Wandering Park because 6 out of 10 of the populations in the United States, not only veterans, will suffer some form of dementia when they get to going through the aging process. And this Wandering Park is allow us to provide a safe environment for our veterans so that when they are suffering through this debilitating disease, they can still have their independence, they can still have their exercise, they can still have the fresh air, but at the same time to be safe. So you can see a lot of different features in this park that you normally do not see in other settings like this. Like the waterfall here for stress relief. You can see some of the tabletop that's low glare so that it wouldn't distract them. And then you can also see that we have a little walking circuit for people to exercise. So it's just a fantastic place. But I think this place is more than just for the dementia patients. This is a community living center. It's for the community, for the whole building, for staff and veterans and patients together here to make it really a home-like environment for them. And because this is where they live. And this is just a great addition in other to addition that we have put forth here in Brockton. Right across the street, about a year ago, we added the psychiatric mental health recreation areas, which again give the veterans additional recreation opportunities and enhancement of their life when they're here at the Brockton VA. We have some distinguished guests here today. Let me recognize a few of them. Some of them going to be able to come up and make some remarks. Sharon Barnes from the City Council. Shana, I'm sorry. Shana Barnes, City Council, great supporter of us, and I think you are also an aide to the congressman. You keep him in check, right? Okay. All right. And I see Heather here, Heather Cherniak from the Paralyzed Veterans of America. So welcome. And of course, all the veterans and staff from the hospital here. So let me first introduce Congressman Stephen Lynch, a great supporter of the VA. He visits us all the time. He's been in this building at least 2-3 times, I remember, since my tenure. And he really cares about the veterans. So, Congressman.
Thank you. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you very much, Vincent. And it is an honor to be one of the United States congressmen with the most VA facilities in my district. Not only do I have the wonderful facility here in Brockton, but also Jamaica Plain in my district, and also West Roxbury. So we are blessed, really, to have such wonderful facilities. And I want to just say thank you to the doctors and nurses and staff, the therapists, everyone who works so hard on behalf of our veterans. I've had a chance to do walkthroughs at various times with Vincent, and I'm always impressed at first of all, the number of veterans who work at the VA and who have that connection with the patients here, and the dedication and love that they show every single day. Of course, I want to recognize all of our veterans here today. Thank you for your courageous service to our country. We are eternally grateful for the blessing of your service and sacrifice. I want to just recognize a couple of people myself. We have at the state level, on behalf of Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito, a wonderful, wonderful Secretary of Veterans Services, Francisco Urena, who's with us today. And Secretary Urena not only talks the talk, he walks the walk. He is a Purple Heart recipient from his service in the military only recently. So we appreciate that. Along with us, we have the champion of the City of Champions, Bill Carpenter, Mayor Bill Carpenter, who's been a great advocate on our behalf as well. And I know that my boss, Shana Barnes, has already been recognized. Shana runs, she's a Brockton City Councilor at large, but she also runs my office here in Brockton because she is so plugged into the veterans and to the churches and to the community down here. She does a wonderful job. And also, State Representative Michelle Dubois is here. Where is she?
Back here.
Okay. And as well, now at the State House, and we're blessed in Massachusetts, really, between Michelle and between Secretary Urena, we're able to, within Massachusetts, above, I think, all the 50 states, really try to do as much as we can for our active military and our veterans as well. So it's a great combination between the state and the local and the federal government, a real partnership. It's an honor to be here today for the Brockton Wandering Park ribbon cutting ceremony. This beautiful park will be a safe, relaxing, and peaceful space for veterans, their loved ones, and caregivers here on the Brockton campus. Our servicemen and women are returning from multiple tours of duty now. And, I was just in Afghanistan not long ago, and I was with a group of about maybe 40 Marines who were out on patrol outside of Camp Leatherneck. And I asked them, I always ask them, I say, how many here on your first tour of duty? And a couple of hands went up. I asked, how many here on your second tour of duty? A few hands went up. I asked, how many here on your third or fourth tour of duties? A lot of hands went up. I got all the way up to 7 tours of duty before I ran out of Marines. So that impact of those men and women serving those multiple tours of duty are showing here within cities like Brockton and all across America, and an elevated suicide rate, an elevated PTSD rate. So we have to try to do what we can to make sure that those unseen wounds, those hidden wounds, are also addressed. And as well, my dad's generation, my dad passed away recently, 92 years old. He was a World War II veteran, so his colleagues, his brothers and sisters in arms are also calling on the VA in such greater numbers, as well as Korea and Vietnam, in addition to the Gulf War. So there's a greater need now than ever for the services of the VA. We're seeing, as I said, many more brain injuries and incidents of post-traumatic stress disorder. We've seen that these repeated tours of duty and exposure to IEDs will later on present themselves as PTSD and also incidents of Alzheimer's. It's critical that we think about the future. We've seen that veterans who experience brain trauma in the course of their service are in fact developing Alzheimer's at a much higher risk and a greater incidence. As the number of Americans with Alzheimer's continues to rise, and as we meet veterans and their families who struggle with this disease each day, it reinforces the need to come together to raise awareness and pledge support and research and investment to find a cure for this debilitating disease. My uncle Snooky, Frank Jackman, was a patient here, and between Brockton and Bedford, they have an Alzheimer's facility up there, program at Bedford. My cousins and my aunt Barbara, Frank's wife, absolutely raved about the care and services that Uncle Snooky received from the VA for his early on dementia and later on Alzheimer's. Next month is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. During the month of June, people across the country will take the Purple Pledge to raise awareness and support people with Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, and it's the only cause of death in the top 10 that can't be prevented currently. While these numbers can be sobering, we have seen the value of quality, holistic care to improving the lives of those individuals living with Alzheimer's. And I know the VA is committed to providing a full range of healthcare services for veterans with Alzheimer's. Our doctors, nurses, caregivers, our staff, our therapists at the Brockton VA Community Living Center are working hard every day to assist our veterans living with Alzheimer's. This wandering park just outside the Community Living Center is another aspect of this caregiving. It will be a great gathering place for the patients and their family. I understand that they can actually pipe in the Red Sox game here, or music. The Red Sox, if they're winning, which they have been lately. It's a safe and quiet and secure outdoor space for people to enjoy the outdoors and get some fresh air. So I look forward to seeing many veterans and their families taking advantage of this space during my frequent visits here. I want to say God bless our veterans, God bless the VA, and God bless these United States of America. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Congressman Lynch. Congressman Lynch talked about our partnership with the state, especially with Secretary Urena. He's been a great supporter. He visits us quite often. Whenever we need to work on things together, he's right there for me. Actually, I just met with you last week working on bettering the program for our veterans. So we welcome him. I'm glad that he can be here today to help us to celebrate. Secretary Urena.
Thank you, Director Ring, and what a great privilege it is to be here in Brockton, be here among our fellow veterans, and to be here among caregivers of one of the great healthcare systems that we have here in Massachusetts. And we're so very pleased to be so fortunate to have the care that we have at the VA, the networks that we have at the VA. That is thanks to Congressman Lynch, that is thanks to all of our partners, and to Mayor Carpenter, Representative Dubois, and members of this great community. Thank you for being here and witnessing this great grand opening of this facility. You know, this is a commitment to the VA. What we see here today is a commitment to the VA that they continue to care. I know that Director Ring, as well as Secretary McDonald, wear the I Care pin, values that they stand strong behind, but it is the actions of what we see here today that really put that statement into actions. On behalf of Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Polito, our 365,000 veterans that call Massachusetts home, it is a great privilege to see the great care that happens here at VA Brockton, but the great care that happens at the network that VA Boston has. The research, not only in dementia, post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, sexual trauma, and many other research that encompasses not only the veteran community, but the greater community as a whole. And that great research is being shared to many of the caregivers, many of the medical networks in and around Massachusetts, so that our communities could truly be empowered. Where we often enough hear so many, sometimes and not often here in Massachusetts, about what the VA it is and what it is not. But I tell you, and it is a witness of all these veterans and families here, both the ones that are here today and those that use them, we know, because I, as a VA patient, am so very proud of what happens here, and I'll continue to advocate and share the best practices that we see here. And it's not just in the care, it is the collaboration, both in and out of these facilities, that makes the VA a great community partner. And I'm glad and so pleased to see such great community engagement and great community wandering park here this morning. I know that Director Ng and Mayor Carpenter and I made a notice once we mentioned that the watering park was here to relieve stress and other problems, and Mayor Carpenter and I said we might find ourselves here at the next opportunity. But thank you so very much. God bless. As we come across Memorial Day, let us remember those who gave the last measures of devotion for our freedoms that we hold so dear. Thank you so very much, and God bless you and this great Commonwealth and the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Urena. Thank you for your support. Next, I'd like to call up Mayor Carpenter. The mayor, when I first met a couple, 3 years ago, he mentioned to me that before he became mayor, he actually take walks in this campus. So now you have the waterfall that you can enjoy if you have time to take walk on our campus. So he always is supportive of us at the local level. We have great partnership. We're working on homelessness for the veterans, and he's doing a great job. So Mayor Carpenter.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Congressman.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is truly a pleasure and an honor to be here. And let me also add, for all of our veterans here in attendance this morning, thank you for your service. It's a great thrill for us to have the Congressman anytime that he's here in the city of Brockton. Congressman, it's an honor to have you here. And Secretary Urena, this is his second trip to Brockton within the past week. So to say he's been a frequent visitor would probably be an understatement, but we are working with our friends both on the state and federal levels on a number of initiatives to try to do a better job and to improve services to those who have earned those services by their service. The Secretary stole my line about coming over here to wander around the park once in a while. Probably on Tuesday mornings after Monday night City Council meetings. Counselor. Just a joke. But it is important. I think what this park really is about, it's about independence and it's about quality of life and maintaining those very important values for the residents of the Community Living Center. And for the folks to be able to come out here, as they mentioned, get exercise, fresh air, enjoy the beautiful park, be able to be outside here, but yet still be safe at the same time. And you know, the challenges of Alzheimer's and dementia, you know, on the city level, we face these every day also, not just our vets. And having someone become unaccounted for, unfortunately, can happen. And this park really will provide that safe outdoor atmosphere without us having to be concerned about the welfare of the individual. So we're very happy to be here. As Secretary Urena mentioned, we are continuing to increase our commitment to veterans. We are committed to ending veterans homelessness here in the city of Brockton. Along those lines, Counselor, We'll be looking for your support when I submit my budget on June 6th. There'll be an extra appropriation for our Veterans Service Office to pay for a Veterans Outreach Coordinator for our Veterans Agent, because we know the folks here are getting good care, but we also know that there are a lot of veterans out in the community in need of services, and we've got to do a better job of connecting those folks to the services that are available here through the VA Medical Center. So, and on a quick side note, and Secretary, you're welcome to use it the next time you come to visit me at City Hall. One of the perks of being mayor is that I have the best parking spot. I have a reserved spot right next to the door. Just the only spots closer are the HP parking, but the closest parking spot to the door. And recently I gave up that reserved parking spot, and there's now a sign there that reserves that spot for veterans parking only. So, Mr. Secretary, I hope that you'll use it next time you come to visit me. So again, Mr. Ring, thank you for your leadership of the Boston VA healthcare system, and thank you to everyone here. You know, Brockton has many commitments here. A lot of the folks who work here at the VA Medical Campus are Brockton residents. So we have a lot of connections to what goes on here. And I did used to walk here regularly before I became mayor, and I'm having trouble finding time to do that now, but I'm going to try to get back to that. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor Carpenter. It's a pleasure today also have State Representative Michelle Dubois here today to help to celebrate the opening of this park. Michelle has been a great supporter of veterans. I see her in different meetings, and she listens to veterans and at the state level to see what she can advocate for them. So, Michelle, would you like to come up?
I would love to. Thank you so much. I'll be brief. Good morning, everyone. I'm very honored to be here with you today and to be a state representative for those living in Brockton, West Bridgewater, and East Bridgewater, and caring about veterans from all across the Commonwealth. I grew up with a very strong feeling instilled in me in respecting veterans. My uncle died in Korea, and my mom, who wasn't a veteran for the rest of her life, would march in every single Memorial Day and Labor Day parade in honor of her uncle. When I was young, I didn't really understand it. When I was a Girl Scout marching, my mom was there marching, and I didn't quite get it. But as I got older and became a city councilor and now a state representative, it's such an honor to be able to serve those who have served our country. I'm happy to be here today, and I'm here in representation of not just myself and my own feelings, but the whole Brockton delegation, which consists of Senator Mike Brady, Representative Claire Cronin, and Representative Jerry Cassidy. We are all very dedicated to making life just a little bit better for veterans, and just this past week the House of Representatives passed legislation to make veterans in hiring a protected class, so no longer can people be prejudiced against veterans, which seems crazy to me, in hiring. So that is a protected class, as well as creating an office to study housing and opportunities for housing for veterans, as well as oversight for the veterans home. So you can count on your Brockton delegation to always be there for veterans, and we welcome your comments and your inputs and your suggestions at any time. Thank you very much for letting me be here today.
Thank you, Representative Dubois. Now I'd like to, last but not least, I'd like to introduce Dr. Steve Simon, who actually do the work of taking care of patients. And Steve been with this campus, I think, about 3 months now, and he's the acting chief of geriatric and extended care. And it's a pleasure to have you here, Steve. Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ng. I realized I am actually the last thing keeping you from the ribbon cutting and the refreshments, so I'll limit my remarks to about 30 minutes. Mr. Ng, honored guests, distinguished guests, thank you for being here, and thank you especially for your support of veterans care, and in particular VA Boston and our Community Living Center. 2016 marks the centennial of our national park system. John Muir was one of America's most famous and influential naturalists and conservationists. He is one of the state of California's most important historical personalities. He has been called the father of our national parks. He wrote, "Walk away quietly in any direction and taste the freedom of the mountaineer. Camp out among the grasses and the gentians of glacial meadows, in craggy garden nooks full of nature's darlings. Climb the mountains and get their good tidings. Nature's peace will flow into you as sunshine flows into trees. The winds will blow their own freshness into you, and the storms their energy, while cares will drop off like autumn leaves. As age comes on, one source of enjoyment after another is closed, but nature's sources never fail." Long before John Muir recognized the value of being outdoors and the value of nature, our sages recognized the value of being at one with nature as well. The Talmud teaches that so many of historical figures in the Bible were shepherds, since working outdoors and being outdoors gives one the opportunity to contemplate the wonders of the universe. Today, we all know intrinsically, deep in our hearts and our souls, that being outdoors is a good thing. But increasingly, in fact, we have scientific evidence that supports that notion. There was a study by Roger Ulrich published in the journal Science way back in 1984 that compared an experiment of the views that patients had following an operation, following surgery. They randomly allocated half the patients to view a plain wall and half the patients to look out the window onto nature. And as we all might now expect, those who had a view of nature had a much speedier recovery after operation. Congressman Lynch mentioned that there is no way to prevent dementia, but in fact science is leading us to believe that we can, if not prevent, at least slow the progression of dementia and slow its onset. The most important way we can do that is physical activity, exercise, being outdoors. Exercise not only reduces cardiovascular disease, but it can in fact prevent or slow the progression of dementia. For all of us, at every stage of life, at every level of function, the more we can be active, the more we can engage with nature, the more fit will be our bodies, and the more fit will be our minds. This new space, with its winding pathways, sweeping views, peaceful spots for reflection and meditation, will enable all those who visit to experience the great outdoors, to move, to breathe, to live. So as we dedicate this new space, in grateful appreciation of our own humble place here, we celebrate nature and we celebrate life.
Thank you, Dr. Simon. Before we go to that gate over there to cut the ribbon, I again like to recognize all the staff here in Building 4, our Community Living Center, for all your work and your commitment and caring for our patients. So thank you very much for that. I'd particularly like to recognize our nurse leader here, Carmen Concepcion. Now, I asked Carmen if she'd like to make some remarks. She said she skipped today. But I'd just like to tell you a story about Carmen because she's going to be moving on to actually San Diego. So about 4 months ago, San Diego called us and asked that we need a good nurse leader to go help them out because their nurse leader just retired. And they've been looking around the country, and Carmen's name came up. So being such a kind person that I am, I said, Carmen, you can go. And Carmen was there for 2 months. Did such a fantastic job for them. They recruited her to go to San Diego. So we'll be losing Carmen, but she has done a great job here for us. And it just shows you how good Boston is, that we have so many good folks here that being recruited nationwide, and you're just one of the great sample of that. Thank you, Carmen.
1, 2,
All right,
3.
if all the dignitary here can join me for the ribbon cutting at that corner, the gate, and we'll cut the ribbon and open up the park. Thank you.
That's why we have trouble cutting taxes.
Okay, I'm standing here with an excellent looking gentleman. He's tall. Every time I interview somebody, they're taller than I am. Would you give your name and title?
Sure, Francisco Urena, Francisco, Urena, Francisco Urena, Secretary of the Department of Veteran Services for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Wow. Boy, that's a mouthful. You did it
it
well.
is,
You did it well. Where's your office in Boston?
We're located in Boston. Now, we represent the 351 cities and towns throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the 365,000 veterans and their families who call Massachusetts home.
Holy mackerel, that's a big responsibility.
Absolutely, it truly is, but it's a responsibility we take very serious, the partnership, the collaboration, and we know we don't do it alone, is working with our state and federal partners, local city partners as well, but here we're celebrating the opening of this wandering park at one of our premier healthcare facilities, which is the VA healthcare system here in the great city of Brockton.
Yeah, isn't this great?
This is
This is
phenomenal.
just fantastic. You know, I've been telling everybody, I've been coming here for about 10 years. I'm a veteran of the Korean War.
Okay.
And I couldn't be, they treat me like a king.
Oh, they truly do.
I hear so much about the VA around the country. What are they doing wrong and we're doing so right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it because of your leadership?
I don't want to take all credit for it. I think it's a lot of collaboration. Massachusetts leads the nation in innovation, but more importantly, breaking silos. The aspect of folks saying we're just going to do our own thing, that doesn't work very well here in Massachusetts. The aspect of doing more with all hands together, all hands on deck, and that is truly one of the success aspects. The other aspect of what we have in Massachusetts is a veteran service officer in every city and town. It is a state law, much different than other states around the country, and that aspect of access, that aspect of advocacy, and that aspect of teamwork is how veterans and their families are successful in learning about information and opportunities, signing up for VA healthcare if that's the case, housing, treatment, and other multiple services that we offer in all those offices and across the Commonwealth.
That's incredible. I didn't realize that. Does it mean every town and city has a representative?
Yes, absolutely. Every city and town has a municipal representative who is agent of the mayor or the township, and it is responsible for advocating for veterans, preventing homelessness, providing our public assistance program, which is Chapter 115 of the Mass General Laws, and those are the advocates that truly make a difference. Each and every day, and both for veterans and Gold Star families and families of service members who may be in need of a hand up. That is what their role is.
You people that are viewing this, I hope you're listening to what he's saying. I had no idea every town had a representative. If you got a problem, seek out your representative. Is that good advice?
That is exactly the advice. Absolutely. That is who they are. They're located either in City Hall or the Senior Center, but definitely the start to call your local City Hall here in Brockton. They're a very great team of support. And if there's anything that we could do to enforce or ensure that we bring more assets or advocacy, please feel free to let our offices know.
Okay. You know, we're here today because I visited a friend who was in World War II.
Okay.
He was in here in the CLC, Community Living Center, 93 years old, terminal.
Wow.
And they took care of him like he was part of their family.
Absolutely.
I mean, they didn't treat him like he was some jerk.
Sure.
They treated him with the respect he deserves.
Yes.
And that's why we're here today. We're out of Carver.
Absolutely.
Board of directors, we've got to get up there and show the people what a real VA situation is.
That's phenomenal.
And now I've got permission to once a month interview a veteran and give him a voice and his family a voice, put him on the air so that people can know what these warriors did for us, for you
Absolutely.
and for me.
Absolutely.
Get a little personal.
Sure.
You are a veteran.
I am.
You told me, I'm
Marine.
going to say an ex-Marine. There is no such thing as an ex-Marine.
That's right.
You're a former Marine.
That's right.
Married?
Yes.
Children?
Yes. 1-year-old.
A 1-year-old.
Just this weekend. So.
I envy you.
Oh,
It's
is
the
that
best
right?
time of your life.
Thank you.
I want to thank
very
you
much.
so much. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for going on camera with me, and keep up the good work.
Well, Kenny, I want to thank you for your service for Korea. I know that sometimes your war and the warriors that fought alongside of you came home perhaps to a forgotten community that didn't even know you were in Korea. But thank you. Welcome home to your service. And more importantly, thank you for the advocacy, the voice that you give these veterans, and truly spreading the message that this healthcare system is here for veterans. It makes a difference. It is sometimes a quiet asset that many folks just do not know about. And it is truly the best way to make sure that this asset remains for generations to come is for our veterans that are among us to sign up for it today. Thank you so very much.
For the first time, you make me happy to be a veteran. Thank you.
Kenny, that should be each and every day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be
God bless
talking to you later.
Thank you.
Wow, what a great leader he is. Okay. There's a few other people that I want to talk to, but at the moment, I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. All right, I'm standing here, as I promised you, beside a lovely, lovely lady. We're going to comment on her looks. That's quite obvious. But I just want to say, she was my first primary care health professional. Is that proper to say that?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And I'm going to be 86 in a couple of months. And the reason that I'm here is standing beside me. Or one of the reasons. I had diabetes. She took care of that. She took care of me so well. My wife passed away, and she took care of that also. She cried when my wife passed away. And I said to myself, man, this VA is out of this world. They treat me here like a king. They call me. She used to call me. My first had my diabetes. She'd call me. Who does that in the medical profession? Do you get anybody to do that? All right, I've said enough. Your name is?
Anne-Marie Fredericks,
And you were my first primary care.
adult nurse practitioner. Yes, that's
And
true.
You have evolved now to a management position?
Yes, I'm in a leadership position at the Brockton campus.
Enjoying it?
I am. Yes, I am. I find most roles with caring for the veterans is entirely a pleasure for me. It's a joy. It's just a pleasure.
Well, you know, Anne-Marie, I don't like to say too much because I know how you are. I don't want you to think I'm saying too much. But if it hadn't been for you in a lot of cases, I don't know if I'd be here. I still do my 4-mile run every day, jog.
Yes.
And I'm 86 years old. How am I doing?
Fabulous.
Huh?
Yes, you just needed the direction and you just followed it.
And I can remember when I first had to take the knee. When I was on pills at first,
Avandia.
and then we went on to insulin. And she used to sit there, and she said to me, "You got to alternate, thighs, stomach, boom, 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 boom. You got that?" I said, "Yes, I have, Miss Fredericks. You can call me Anne-Marie if you want to." All right, that's it. See you next year. You were something else. I won't take up any more of your time.
Thank you,
I just
Mr.
want to thank you
Simmons.
for what you did for me
Yep.
and what you're still doing for all the veterans you come on
Thank
contact
you.
with.
You've always held a special place in my heart, Mr. Simmons.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
you.
Anne-Marie Fredericks, my very first primary care, and she was incredible. We're still friends. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up right now. I'm about to say goodbye. It's been a great day. We've seen a lot of people. I hope you've enjoyed what you've been seeing, because you're going to see a little more of it. I don't mean the crowds. We are going to interview veterans right here at CLC. And once we get known and they know they can trust us, we'll be interviewing doctors, nurses, custodians, policemen. They have their own police force here. We'll be interviewing anybody that has anything at all to do with veterans. I think veterans deserve the best we can give them. And as far as I can tell, as far as I can see, they're getting that right here in Brockton. So, remember, they need volunteers. Building 7, Mr. Lehan, see him, tell him what you'd like to do, and he'll arrange for you. All right, let's see, is there anything else I should say that I haven't? Oh, I want to thank Will McKenna, our director, Area 58 Director of Operations. He's here today. He got here very early this morning after a mishap, which we won't go into. I want to thank our Executive Director, who is now pointing the camera at me, Rich Goulart, a man among men, a bon vivant, a guy who knows what he's doing, and he wants the best from you. Try to give it to him. Okay, I want to thank all the people that spoke to me, and most of all, I want to thank you people for watching, because if it wasn't for you, there'd no sense being here in the heat and talking to all these people. Thank you so much. And I think that's it. Until next time, as Red Skelton used to say, goodbye and God bless.